Hello, welcome to another episode of The End of the Search. This one I call it, You Are Always Free. See, what do I mean by that? You always are. Right now, you cannot say, I am not. See? Life is perfectly unfolding as it is. And you are part of the freedom of life itself because you are life. Not whatever your thoughts or the thoughts that seem to appear are telling. You always are. That's why you are always free. Now, I'm going to invite you to notice that any thought that appears, whatever the thought is, I'm not asking you to control it. I'm not asking you to push it away. I'm asking you to simply notice it. Now pay attention here. Notice it doesn't mean look at the thought and follow it. And simply just notice. For example, right now, in this beingness that it is, do you notice a sensation in your body? Any particular sensation? Just noticing, that's all. Don't give it any meaning. Don't make anything of it, just notice. And in the noticing, observe how feelings, if you happen to feel something, if you don't, then this would not be a good example for you right now. But notice how it's all transitory, everything is transient. The thought, notice a thought, and now in the noticing, see how the thought has the freedom to flow and continue. You see? That's what I mean that you're always free. Now, let me ask you, what would you need to do in order to be? You see? Because when I say you're free, a lot of times people think, no, I'm not free, I'm trapped, I feel worried, I feel concerned. No, these are thoughts that instead of being seen, they are judged. That's the difference. In noticing, there's no judgment. In noticing is just the freedom, which is always permanent, in which you rest, that now does not identify with a particular thought or a particular sensation or anything. And you see how life is just simply unfolds. Life unfolds, and yet you're free always, because there's not an attachment to any thought, to anything. It's just simply beingness. Now, this, which is the obvious because it's your natural beingness, because it's being overshadowed by the thought that says this individual is who I am, this is my identity, and on top of that, all the thoughts that I used to keep solidifying or justifying this sense of identity. I'm an athlete, so I need to do this. I'm an author, so I need to write. I'm a musician, I need to compose. I am a mother, so I have to be a mother, or whatever the case may be. You see, all these things are thoughts that are passing through, but because I'm holding on to a sense of identity, which is a thought, you see, now I am completely trapped in this maze of thoughts, not realizing that I am the freedom in which these thoughts seems to appear and disappear. I'm pointing to the freedom that you are to notice that everything is just what is, and the question that always arises, but if I'm a mother, am I going to leave my children astray? If I'm a musician, am I not going to be able to compose? Well, first of all, get rid of the label mother and musician. You're not a mother or a father if you happen to have kids, and you're not a musician if you happen to play music. You simply are. That's what we're pointing here. Now, in the I am, in the are that you are, in the I amness, which is what I am, if children happen to be in my life, notice how the natural movement to take care for them will happen automatically without the label mother or father. If music is something that is expressed through you for whatever the reason is, the inspiration comes through, notice how you can still create the music, or the music will be created through you, or better yet, the movement of doing something that the world label creating music or composing will happen through you without you having to hold on to the label that says I'm a musician. I am an author, I have written books. I am a speaker, I have given conference. I'm a musician, I have composed, created, recorded. I can have all sorts of labels. I have a mother, or she's no longer with us in form, but if I have a mother, that implies that I am a son. As I look at my anatomy, I would say I am a man. If I tell you, look at my birth certificate, and I tell you I was born in this island called Puerto Rico, but all this stuff are pure lies. These are just thoughts, you see? I am free of all of that because I know that I am not any of those things, even though for legal purposes somebody asked me, where were you born? I was born in Puerto Rico. If somebody asked me, are you male or female? I said, yeah, I am a male, because that is how we function in this world, for the sake of communication and functioning within this world of appearances. See, although things happen through this instrument, but I'm clear that I am, and therefore I am free. You see? Now, notice that I'm not asking you to do anything in order to be free, meaning you don't have to control anything in order to be free, because I'll say it again, you are free, or the freedom right now, not you as a person, but you as what is. You are the freedom in which all the thoughts and things seems to appear. So, if you feel that you need to do a practice to become something, I am not saying that's right or wrong. This is not what these videos are about. I'm just pointing that maybe what you seem to be doing keep reinforcing the belief in a someone that feels that in the future will become free if he or she eventually master this particular practice. But what we're pointing here is the obviousness of what is, and in the what isness there's nothing to do, it's simply be, that's all. See? And that's the freedom that you are, in which you always rest. And if thoughts come up that says, no, I want to be in a particular, I don't know, this is not who I am, I feel uncomfortable, I feel angry, I feel this or whatever. I am not saying here that these thoughts or sensations will not appear. I am pointing, just pointing, this is just an invitation. I'm pointing to what happens if you simply notice, and in the beingness, in the noticing, tell me what happens. What is the direct experience? And the direct experience is the peace that passes all understanding as life unfolds. I don't know what is the next thought I'm going to have. I don't even know what is the next movement I'm going to make, even though it appears as if though after I finish this video, there's a couple of things that I may be doing, and that's fine. I don't have any problems with that because I see them as possibilities, but I always know what I'm doing while I am doing it. You see? Because that is life expressing through this instrument. Now remember, these videos are paradoxical, because even if I say to you, just notice, you're not going to notice because I'm telling you. You will notice because in your script, in your life journey, that is what you're supposed to do. You see? You're not the doer. You simply are an expression of all that is. And yet, I also say, if for any reason you find yourself inspired to listen to this kind of information, it could be said that through you, the ability to notice is going to be then available. That's fine. I don't feel that life will lead me to do something I cannot do, or will lead me to some sort of inspiration of something I cannot do. I feel that in my case, life always moves this instrument to do that which is ready to do. And for many years, I did all sorts of practices and all sorts of things that, they were part of the steps that I have to take, not necessarily because they were leading me to truth. You see, this is the irony. Is because it's like showing me, okay, how many times you think you have to do this in order to realize that this is not, it's not going to help. You see? And yet, I found myself doing them because that is the journey that I had to travel, and it was perfect. I am not judging or any of the things that I had that this character seemed to have to do in order to realize that maybe that is not the way, that is not the way, that is not the way. And then I found myself realizing, oh my God, well, there is no way. You see? There is no way to freedom. Freedom is the way, and freedom is right now. Let's put it to the test. Again, yeah, I like to do this in the videos all the time because I don't want to leave you with concept. Let's put this to the test right now. Remember, I'm not talking to you as a person. This is not person to person. It's just that apparently talking to itself. But anyway, since it appears as if there's a you and there's a me, doesn't matter. Let's not get caught up into those details right now. Notice a thought, whatever the case may be. Don't fight it, don't judge it, don't suppress it, or feeling or something. Just notice, just notice. And let me just, again, when I say notice, the mind eventually says, okay, I'm going to notice this. No, this is not what I'm trying to say. I'm just simply being. Okay, let's see if this word is better. Just being, okay? Right now, as you're listening to these words, you're just being, you see? Now, have you noticed that the thought that you may be thinking or that was coming up before is no longer there? Maybe it's coming back again because now you're thinking, oh, what was the thought that it was? Oh yeah, that is coming back. But in the end, you see how it just fluctuates, you see? Being. Have you noticed that this is just the most obvious? As Nisargadatta used to say, he says, truth is so simple, why we complicate it? This is it. This is your life right here, always, always. Thoughts will appear, sensations will appear, circumstances will continue to appear or seem to appear, but you are. You see? Now, this is the key question. And this is what I ask everyone who, for some reason, life leads them to, so we can talk or whatever. If this is what you truly want. Because the sense of identity doesn't want this. The sense of identity wants excitement, wants action, wants to do something, wants to accomplish things, wants to go after things. There's nothing wrong about any of that. I'm not here to judge any of those things. I'm pointing to the fact that those things are what the mind uses to keep feeding the mind process, which when things go our way, we want to keep feeding the mind, but when things do not go our way, that's when we want to do a practice to be at peace. You see? We want this part of the dream, but we don't want this part of the dream. Well, the problem is that if you want one little part of the dream, you must have the whole dream. That's just the way it is. And now the mind interprets this like, but then I cannot do the things I love to do. I cannot have dreams or something. I'm not pointing to that. I'm just simply saying that as you are, you're free, and whatever you do or life through you does in that state of freedom will be done very happily. You don't have to feel it. You don't have to feel like, so if I surrender, I will never play music. I don't know if you're supposed to play music or not, but the difference is that if in this place of beingness you rest in the peace that passes understanding, you're truly happy, and whatever you find yourself doing will be done with the fragrance of that happiness, whether it's doing music or going fishing. I don't know, it doesn't matter. You see? If music is what you're supposed to do, then you'll continue doing music. That's just the way it is, you know. An engineer cannot say, I will not stop being an engineer. No, I mean, he or she was trained to become an engineer because that's what she or he loves to do. So therefore, he's not going to leave the job all of a sudden because it surrenders. I mean, the people who build airplanes will not stop building airplanes. You know, the world is not going to collapse because you're being, but the attitude, you see, with which you do whatever you do will change significantly. That'll happen. You see, I don't know if life wants me to become whatever it wants me to become. All I know that I am what I am in all times, at all times. And the I am sometimes take the form of, like, for example, the I am is taking the shape of someone who's supposedly sharing information. Some people may want to label it whatever. Some people call it YouTubers. I don't know. I don't label any. I'm just a guy that is sharing this information because that is what is happening through me. And then if I'm supposed to do something else, I'll find myself doing something else. It's the same presence, just having different roles. The key is not believing any of them. Why? Because I'm not believing the mind, not believing the thoughts. And that's how I am free, even as I do whatever it is that life wants me doing. Then when I go to bed at night, you know, fine, I go to bed and I don't know if I'm going to wake up the next morning, and it's fine because there's no such thing as a next morning. I'm simply am always. And then the seeming next morning appears. Well, guess what? It's not the next morning. It's the present moment always. And then the mind uses the memory to say, oh, yesterday I went to sleep. No, I didn't go to sleep yesterday. This is all there is. That's it. If I don't let the mind trying to interpret or anything, I am living in the freedom that I am. And that's invitation through these videos. It's just an invitation. I'm not telling you what to do or not to do. That is whatever life wants you to do. But hey, right now, life playing whatever this game is playing the role of a you listening to this information and a me sharing it. So again, well, that's just part of the play. The question is this helpful? You see, don't take anything I say as the absolute truth. I said that at the beginning of the videos, and I always say, just, hey, I'm just sharing the way life through me lives. Okay, I do have also the ups and downs that everybody has. I have all sorts of thoughts like everybody has. The difference is that there's an awareness now that these are just thoughts and means absolutely nothing, and that's why there's a freedom in which I rest in spite of what happens to the seeming character. That's just an invitation. If it works for you, wonderful. If it doesn't, then that's fine. You don't have to listen to these videos. I am not trying to gain followers or anything. I'm just simply noticing how life uses this instrument to express this information. Why? Because this is how life has me living. I live like that, so consequently there's a natural inkling to share it. To some people, they don't have this natural inkling to share it, and that's wonderful. See, everybody has their own, their own script, their own role they play. In my case, well, this is the role that I seem to play. For how long? I have no clue. All I know is that I am, and so are you. Right now, can you say you are not? You see? Just be, right now, being. Just noticing. See, life. It's life being. And now, the key word is trust. This is the thing. Can you trust? And the trust is not for things to go in a particular way. The trust is so you can finally trust in the willingness of just being. In spite of the mind saying, if you're just being, you're going to be a vegetable, you're not going to be able to do things, you're going to be an outcast, and you're not going to have passion for life or anything. Okay, well, these are the thoughts that are going to come through, but then notice how you feel when those thoughts come through, and notice how you feel when you are. You see? When those thoughts of anxiety and anxious and everything, notice how do you feel when they come through, and notice how do you feel when you simply are, when they can be seen, they can be observed, noticed, but not listened to. That sense of peace, of tranquility, of beingness is the motivation to continue doing this investigation, not knowledge. As A Course in Miracles says, it says peace is the motivation to do this course. It's not knowledge. This is not about information. I don't want to leave your head with information. You don't have to do anything literally. It's just noticing right now. Noticing. Just notice. You're just being. This is the freedom in which you rest. And notice how thoughts appear, and if you don't hold on to them, they disappear. You see? And yes, all the thoughts of, oh my God, like I said before, and it's good to be repeating it over and over again, the resistance is going to come up, oh my God, what is going to be about me? I'm a very passionate person. Relax, If you have to take any particular action, any dynamic action, that'll happen through you. It's not that all of a sudden you're going to be, like I said, a dormant or something. No. The difference is that whatever is being done through you will carry, once again, the fragrance of that tranquility. That's what I mean. Even if you are playing basketball and you're in the middle of a match and you have to run really fast. So it's not like you're going to be om through the basketball court, om, everything is wonderful. If you do that, they'll take the ball away from you. But again, you see it as a game. You know what I'm saying? You enjoy the game, you're fully engaged in the game, but you don't carry, all this fear and everything that the mind tries to add to what happens. You're simply being, you see? See that you're free? Can you experience right now the freedom I'm pointing to? Just noticing. That's freedom. This is it. My God, this is it. This is what we're pointing to the whole time. There's nothing to do. Just being, you see? I don't need to do anything to just be. But if I convince myself that in the future I will be blah blah blah, then I think I have to do something in order to become. And for many years I did all sorts of things thinking that one day I'll become free. And that was part of the journey that I had to travel, and it was perfect. I am not saying, I'm not against any of it. I'm not saying anything. I'm just simply pointing to the possibility that there's another way. That is a direct path. And the direct path is being. And I know that this is not going to be, this information is not for everybody. I mean, people have to go through what they have to go through. So I know that those who find themselves listening to this information, well, maybe they're ready. You see? If I go with this information to a world that is conditioned to doing and pursuing and all that stuff, oh my God, they'll crucify me. I'll be crucified immediately. So I'm aware of that. That's why these videos are out there, because this is what life is doing through me, but I have no clue who's listening to them or watching them. But if you happen to benefit from them, okay, well, great, wonderful. But just be, right now, just be. Notice, just notice. See? And carry that attitude in everything you do. And that's how you'll come to the realization that you are always free. Okay, well, this is the inspiration that came through this instrument. I hope it helped. And as always, may peace permeate the mind so that love can be extended.